Our panel of CNN political analysts and contributors. We have with us former presidential advisor for Presidents Nixon, Ford, Reagan, and Clinton. Only 4 presidents. David Gergen. Senior writer for The Federalist, Mary Catherine Ham. Presidential historian, Douglas Brinkley. USA Today columnist, Kirsten Powers. Donald Trump supporter, Jeffrey Lord from the beautiful city of Harrisburg. Former mayor of Philadelphia and Hillary Clinton supporter, Michael Nutter. CNN's national political reporter, Maeve Reston. And presidential historian, Tim Naftali. Thanks one and all for being here. David Gergen, the Clinton campaign, getting prepared, making sure everybody knows that they're prepared for nice Trump, for restrained Trump. Would you tell Mr. Trump, if you were advising him, that's actually the good play for him, to be the restrained, nice Mr. Trump?
Jake, I think I'd tell him to dial it back some, but don't dial it down to docile. Don't dial it down to boring. He's got to be himself. You want the candidate to be himself and to bring out the best qualities, but he has to be authentic. And Donald Trump, I think he'll be very polite in the beginning, but I would imagine the fireworks will start within 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. And Jeffrey, this is the Trump we saw during the primary debates.
First of all, this guy's a joke artist, and this guy's a liar. You're the basket case.
This little guy has lied so much about my record.
First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to.
Donald, you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that.
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
All right. Okay.
Certainly one for the history books. Do you expect that Donald Trump tonight? He does. I mean, he calls her crooked Hillary when he's out on the stump. He certainly doesn't hold back.
I do expect some version of it in the sense that he will use it to make a point. If he's talking about the Clinton Foundation, he will, I suspect, go down that path. If he's talking about other things, he may do some version of that. I mean, I think David is right. I mean, there has to be a balance here. He has to ratchet back a little bit, but he is going to be Donald Trump. Make no mistake about that.
What are you expecting today, Mr. Mayor?
I think we should expect the usual schizophrenic, Jekyll and Hyde kind of Donald Trump. A person who has no ability to contain or restrain himself, vacuous on policy, and will just have 5-word sentences without a noun or a verb.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who Mayor Netter's voting for. But Maeve, what are you expecting? You've covered Donald Trump for this whole contest. Are you expecting him to be as, shall we say, colorful as we saw in those clips?
No, certainly not. I do think that, as much as they have downplayed the prep that he's been doing, he has been thinking seriously about the answers that he wants to formulate, a very different kind of debate prep than what Hillary Clinton is doing. But I think in some ways that she has the harder task tonight. She's got a really fine line to walk in terms of the balance between fact-checking and keeping him in his place and seeming likable, reaching out to all of those millennial voters who she needs help with in Colorado and Pennsylvania. So it's going to be really fascinating to watch.
Mary Catherine, let me go to you, because obviously we know that not everybody watches the entire debate. It's 90 minutes, and usually the first half hour is better rated than the last half hour. For the beginning, what are you expecting from Donald Trump, and what are you expecting from Hillary Clinton?
I think he can probably come out and be calm in the more reined-in Kellyanne Conway style of Donald Trump. I don't know how long that will last, but if it happens at the end of the debate, it will also make it onto the internet, so people will be aware of it. But I think in that beginning part, you can count on him being pretty chill. And I know a lot of Hillary Clinton supporters are like, how is it so deeply unfair that his expectations are so low that it doesn't seem like he has to do that much to beat her, and she has to do all of this stuff over here. Welcome to the world of Marco Rubio and the rest of the guys who stood on that stage. He hasn't done this before, and his expectations are lower for that reason.
But is that fair, Kirsten?
No, I don't think it's fair, but you have to remember that the Clinton campaign has also told everybody that there's basically a madman is out there, and he's going to, that's who people are expecting to show up on the stage. So if he shows up and he doesn't look like a madman, then he has won at least that tiny little thing. But I think that you have to remember he's a showman, so the chances of him spending the entire time being boring are very low, because he understands what people want is a showman. So he has to figure out how to still be interesting, but remember that he's on a stage with a woman, and this is very different than what he was doing in the primary. If he tries to do that with Hillary, it might not work as well.
I'd like to build a wall right here. So people chanting. Professor Brinkley, let me show you something, because one of the things that's interesting is that this is obviously the first time there has been a female major party nominee on that stage. Let's take a look at some of the missteps that pundits have said previous Hillary Clinton opponents have made.
Okay. Well, I would be happy to when you give me the signed letters.
Right here.
Would you give me?
Right here. Sign it right now.
Well, we'll shake. We'll shake
No,
on this.
no, I want your signature, because I think that everybody wants to see you signing something that you said you were for.
I admire what Senator Clinton has done for America, what her husband did for America. Not sure about that coat.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
To be fair to the John Edwards clip there, he was asked to name something he didn't like about one of his opponents. But it is a challenge, the gender dynamics.
Absolutely. I mean, Hillary Clinton's going to take what LBJ did to Barry Goldwater. The slogan of LBJ in '64 was, "In your gut, you know he's nuts." She wants to have people see Donald Trump as being nuts. Nuts about climate change, what he's denied. Nuts about talking about women's health. Nuts about race. How do you do that? Well, she is politically correct. She is a trained creature of political correctness. She's been getting hammered for being too politically correct at times. But there's damage that can be done if you're not politically correct at all. And I think that's the pitfall for Donald Trump. She's going to try to lure him in to some of these debates to get him to say something that's gauche and deeply unappealing.
Tim, what do you think? What are you looking for this evening?
Donald Trump's a very competitive man. I think his behavior will depend on whether he thinks he's winning this debate or not. If he thinks he's losing this debate, I think you'll see the other Trump. The other thing that's important is the dynamics of the crowd. The crowd's not supposed to say anything, unlike this crowd, right? Not supposed to say anything. He always says his worst things, not at the beginning. It's never his topic sentence. It's the reiteration when he wants more from the audience. If he doesn't get that tonight, it may be easier for him to be restrained, but I look for him to get very competitive if he doesn't think he's winning. He doesn't want to draw.